Alright, before we start, I need to do something because it's been a while.
I don't care to see your goddamn hammer, Garrett!
Hey guys, JamesMCD Reviews here, welcome to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Far From the Tree. This is the newest movie from Toilet on the Roof Productions in collaboration with Freeman Films, and is written and directed by Durden Godfrey. For those of you who might not know, Durden is a filmmaker friend of mine working out of Jacksonville. I've covered his previous two movies on this channel, Never Go Back and I'm Gonna Kill Someone This Friday, the latter of which I actually went to the premiere to, which is how we actually met and got in contact. He's very talented and dedicated, and he's made some really good stuff, so I'm gonna leave links to not only his previous two movies, but my previous videos on those movies in the description, so go check those out if you want to. He also, along with Tarian Royal, who actually stars in Far From the Tree, hosts a movie analysis and discussion show called TTFT, that's the Effin' Trailer. I would definitely recommend checking them out because they are well put together, well researched, and well worth your time, so I will leave their link in the description as well. I've known that this movie was happening for a while. They first announced that it was being made back in February of last year, with production officially starting in spring of 2023, to now they're about to have their official Jacksonville premiere March 31st as a part of Sleeping Giant Film Festival. So if by the end of this video your interest has been piqued and you want to see the movie and you want to get tickets, I'll leave a link to the film's website down in the description. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go to the premiere, which I'm kind of upset about, but luckily, because Durden is really cool, he gave me the movie early to do this review, so shout out to him. With that being said, I do want to try and be as honest and fair as possible, even despite, you know, us being friends and, you know, me knowing Durden and everything like that. So I do want to try and be as objective as I possibly can be. And also, out of common courtesy, I'm going to keep this video as spoiler-free as possible. So if by the end of the video, like I said, your interest has been piqued and you do want to see the movie for yourself, you can go in without knowing any of the surprises or anything like that. So the movie centers around Morgan, played by Jayla Royal. She's just turned 18 and she's about to break her father's heart. I know that description is admittedly kind of vague, and like I said, it's hard to talk about a lot of the major story beats without spoiling stuff. But I will say, if you've seen any of Durden's other movies, and he even said himself that this is he considers this to be connected to Never Go Back and Kill as part of a loose Twisted Parents sort of trilogy. And you can definitely see a lot of those themes in this movie, those themes of sort of disconnection and loss and tragedy and everything like that. And it shows in the characters and their sort of struggles. You know, we've got the dad Tony, who is, coping with the loss of his wife and Morgan's mom and everything, which isn't a spoiler because it's right at the beginning, it's established that he's still hung up on the loss of his wife, and he's trying to connect with his daughter through those kinds of happy moments with the wife and everything like that. And it's very clear that he thinks that he's doing the right thing and he's making the daughter happy, but there's a very clear disconnect going on, which becomes all the more tragic as the movie goes on. I thought the acting across the board was really great. Royal absolutely knocks it out of the park in this movie. He's come a long way since Then There Was You. I'm sorry, that was a low blow. Sorry, Royal. All joking aside, he was really good in this. It's honestly kind of chilling and a little bit bizarre seeing the contrast between what you see when you're watching TTFT and when you meet him in real life, how he's this very upbeat, big personality and is very charismatic and all over the place and everything. And then you see his character in this movie and it's the complete opposite. You see this guy who is just barely keeping his shit together. He's trying to move on and be happy and form a connection with his daughter. And there's a great sequence with when he's in therapy and everything, and they're talking about those issues, and he's just you can see just the face of a broken man and everything like that. And of course then, something happens with you know, his daughter that like sparks the rest of the movie, to where now he's dealing with all this shit and not knowing what exactly to do about it. And it's great. He is really good in this movie. I think probably some of my favorite scenes and some of the most chilling scenes in the movie. There are a lot of scenes of him like, I don't know if disassociating is the correct word, but it's the one that I'm gonna use because it's the only one that I can think of. But it's like, he's like, so almost sort of like disassociating from reality, where like he sees certain situations like playing out the way that he wants to, and then it cuts to what actually happens, and then you see like the terrifying reality set in. And those scenes are really good. And again, the performances in those sequences are like some of the highlights. Jayla as well, who is Royal's real life daughter, also gives a really great performance. She comes across as very like cold and very like jaded, for lack of better words. And it's chilling. It's really like creepy to watch. And you know, you see like as the movie goes on, like that progression and like the struggle that Tony faces of like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I thought visually the film was very well shot. There are some like dynamic like shots. There are some really good uses of color. The opening and closing credits, again, like had some really cool backdrops and uses of color. I think the movie is pretty well paced. It is a slow burn, but it definitely like rewards you for sticking with it. Briefly going into some issues that I had, like I said, I thought that what they did with Tony's character and his development and his progression throughout the story was really good. And I kind of wish that we got just as much, if not a little bit more, on like Morgan's side, because, well, I mean, so I can't spoil anything, like I said, but you know, there are things that happen and revelations that and like things that are alluded to that I feel like I would like to see more kind of in her mind. Like I feel like there's an equally interesting movie from Morgan's perspective that we aren't really seeing. And just getting sort of that insider look into like her mindset and her like ways of like thinking, and maybe showing like a bit of her connection like with her mom and like where some of this stuff stems from. I honestly feel like you could have had a scene with Morgan and the therapist right after, like not too long after the scene with Tony in the therapist's office, and I feel like that would have made it a lot more like compelling and everything like that. That's really kind of the only like story issue that I have, and the other issues that I have are just kind of like technical things. More prominently, the music. Now, one of Durden's partners, the late Dr. Jones, is posthumously credited in as doing bits of the soundtrack, because they use unused tracks from the previous two movies that he scored and this movie's score. There are other like tracks and like artists listed as well, but he is like the primary one. And the score for the most part is fine. Like there are a lot of really like good tracks that fit really well, but there are some that feel a little like jarring and out of place in certain aspects. Like there's a scene that's supposed to be like really uncomfortable between Tony and Morgan and very like awkward and intense, and it does admittedly kind of take you out of the movie when this like Marvel movie trailer music is like playing in the background with this like epic like orchestral buildup and everything like that. I feel like that type of a track could have worked in a different scene, maybe not that one in particular, but the rest of the soundtrack is perfectly fine. Same thing goes with like, there are a couple of like awkward edits that felt kind of weird and out of place, but again, like the editing for the most part is fine. It's just like a few examples like scattered throughout that are just kind of weird. But overall, I did really like this movie. I don't think it's as strong as his previous two movies. In fact, I'd probably, if I was ranking them from favorite to least favorite, I'd probably say Kill first, then Never Go Back, then this. But again, I still think it's a good movie. I still really like it, and you can definitely tell, you know, nothing about the movie feels half-assed. Everyone who worked on this movie put their all into it, and it absolutely comes across. So I definitely think that you should check this movie out, if for no other reason than to, you know, support your local and independent filmmakers. Like I said, it's having its Jacksonville premiere March 31st at Sunray Cinema as a part of Sleeping Giant Film Festival. So if this video has piqued your interest and you want to get tickets for the movie, I'll leave a link to that down in the description. I also don't know what sort of the plan is for after the premiere, like whether or not they're gonna release it to festivals or streaming service, or like take it on like a national tour like they did with Kill. But if you want to keep up to date with all the goings on of Far From the Tree, I'll leave a link to the film's Facebook page and link tree down in the description as well. And while you're at it, subscribe to TTFT because those guys are pretty cool. But yeah, long story short, really enjoyed Far From the Tree. Not perfect, but I'd still recommend checking it out when it premieres on the 31st. And if I had to rate it, I'd probably give it a 3.5 out of 5. And that does it for this video. Once again, huge thank you to Durden for sending me the movie early to review. Let me know in the comments, has this video piqued your interest? Are you gonna go check out Far From the Tree once it premieres? Or if you're watching this in the past and you've already seen the movie, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know down below. I've got more videos coming real soon, but until then, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on when I'm posting. Follow me on my social media, subscribe to my main channel, everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.